This is the best of the Tory Lowe Show on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
And y'all talking about ice when they living in a situation and it's ice cold. Y'all worried about ice coming, but you not worried about the elders freezing to death. Y'all got it twisted. A Milwaukee apartment building evacuated. Tenants are unsure what's next. We got some video. Once again, it's the coldest time of the year. Tenants being evacuated. We got video on this. Let's listen.
Horrible.
It's horrible. It's completely freezing inside her home. Bianca Rivera describes the blistering cold conditions inside her apartment complex near 29th and Wisconsin.
How many days have you gone without any heat?
Llevamos 4 días así.
Rivera is among the now 47 adults and 6 children evacuated Thursday from the building owned by Barada Properties.
You could hear the pipes below busting during the night.
Yeah.
Like all you hear is loud kaboom, and that was the pipes bursting below.
Desiree Johnson picked up her belongings Friday. She says she was at work when she found out what happened from Fox 6 News. Johnson says she lives next to this garage.
I don't know when it's going to be fixed. I don't know anything about like compensation for like rent or anything. I have no clue.
The Milwaukee Department of Neighborhood Services called the conditions a life safety issue after finding no heat, no water, and burst pipes.
Overwhelmed is an understatement.
This is in Alderwoman Charlene Moore's district. She says the city made arrangements with the help of the organization Community Advocates to put folks in a hotel.
This is something that is not the city or the county's responsibility. A landlord should be responsible in taking care of their property.
We reached out to Barada Properties multiple times, even went to their office. No word back by deadline.
I don't know any type of timeline of how long it's going to be shut down or what we're going to do.
Hey, look, Barada do not discriminate. I told y'all. It don't matter what color you are, you can get some of that slumlord property. You can be cold in the wintertime. You can have no heat or hot water in extreme cold conditions, and he don't care what color you are. He's an equal opportunity slumlord. That's what's going on. Also, Milwaukee leaders are pushing for tougher landlord penalties due to what's going on with a lot of these tenants. This is something that I saw. They're trying to see if they can change the laws when it comes to landlords. I think it's criminal for them to be having people living in conditions where they could die. If it's extreme cold and they don't have any heat or any hot water or anything to protect themselves and they're paying full rent, it should be some type of penalty or citation or something. We got some video if you're watching this. We broadcast live. We got audio on this. Let's listen.
We are putting landlords on notice.
Bursting pipes, no water, and no heat. That's what temporarily shut down this 36-unit apartment building near 29th in Wisconsin. 48 adults and 6 kids had to leave their homes as Department of Neighborhood Services called it a life safety issue. Monday, city leaders outlined next steps.
You might have a person who you rest assured if you don't turn that rent check in time, you're going to hear from them. But when you call them at 10 below zero, you can't get them to pick a phone up.
Wow.
That is wildly unacceptable. That has to stop.
They clearly have the resources to provide proper maintenance and proper equipment in their buildings, but they choose not to out of greed, pure and simple.
Alderman Bob Bauman says he's putting together an ordinance called Chronic Violator Ordinance. The goal is to charge landlords a significant fine, up to tens of thousands of dollars, instead of just a couple hundred.
Right now, the fines and the penalties that we have in place does not get the attention of the major landlords.
Vince Toney isn't convinced.
I'm just dissatisfied with City Hall.
He says he's had years of issues with his landlord, piled up trash, crime. He says he's reported everything to the city, but nothing's changed.
I just think it's fluff for me because these are things that have been talked about in the past and we are not proactive. We wait till something to happen and we want to hold a press conference to fix the problem.
He right. That's what I say all the time. See, if they was proactive, I'm sure these families are not waiting to the worst conditions to make complaints. Some of these families have been complaining the whole time, But all of a sudden, when it get bad and the community get to whispering, next thing you know, they want to throw a press conference to keep everybody under control. You know what I mean? No, you can't tell me that people are living without heat and you don't know about it. Because they're going to call you. Matter of fact, when they call me, they throwing a Hail Mary. When you see families on the news, that's the Hail Mary because they then darn near froze to death. I mean, they sitting there heating the homes with the ovens. I want to go over to Beecher Court. Residents speak out as the neighbors say they went nights without heat. Look, they knew this was going to happen. This happens every year. I deal with this every year. People reach out to the alderman. They reach out to the city. They reach out to the Department of Neighborhood Services. These people all know, but all of a sudden, once it get on the news, all of a sudden, let's have this big meeting and give everybody this Martin Luther King speech. We going to do something about it. Let's see what's going on in Beecher Court. Residents speaking out after going nights without heat. Let's listen.
We've been without heat for a couple of... I'm your Southern Milwaukee County reporter, Michaela Chavez. Residents here at Beecher Court tell me that they've been without heat for a couple of nights now during the extreme cold.
We've been going through this for the last 2 or 3 nights. No heat. Don't even sound like it.
Rebecca Davis has lived at Beecher Court for the last 4 years.
This is only one of the jackets that I will wear.
In those 4 years, she's earned the trust of her neighbors.
You got heat in there? No. I know.
Who all tell her the same thing.
It is freezing on every floor.
Davis tells me she spent all of Friday trying to get someone sent over. She says they answered, but nobody came.
Next thing we know, night done hit us again.
She took me to other floors in the building. I noticed a lot of units had something to block the cold air from coming in. She says many residents are elderly or have disabilities and already struggle enough.
And I cannot stand for the residents to have to be like that because they didn't ask for it.
Now, some say they're using ovens or space heaters, despite the risks.
But if we don't do this, we gonna freeze.
Davis says she also contacted the fire department to make them aware of the situation.
And I don't want to get burnt up in here, but it seems like it's gonna take something tragic for them to do something.
I also left a voicemail and sent an email to Beecher Court Housing. They tell me the boilers are working properly and maintenance will recheck them Saturday afternoon. Residents are urged to call this number with any heat-related concerns.
All right, see, now I'll say this. Everybody know that it's going to take something extreme to happen for them to move the needle on this. Because now it's so many families. They don't care if it's black, Hispanic, white. It ain't no discrimination when it comes to slumlord living or landlords that's neglecting residents and things like that. They just want their check. If you don't give them that check on the first of the month, they're going to hit you with the eviction notice. And this is why somebody need to hit them with some type of citation or some type of where they don't have to pay the rent or where they can, something got to happen. Something got to happen in this space because the landlords is running wild right now. Look, they can't pick up the phone because the furnace out, but let that first of the month come and they don't get that check. They don't care if it's minus degrees. They going to come over there and get out there and get their hand out for that check. Or if it ain't dropped off in that deposit box, they going to try to go to the courthouse and fill out that paperwork, that 5-day notice I'm trying to tell you. It's amazing how they can't move when they got to fix something, but when they got to collect something, they right on top of you. Something got to change, and it's up to the leadership to change it. The people that y'all vote for, the people that they trying to get on these press conferences and say something powerful, and nothing ain't happening on the back end. And these are our elders that's screaming out. And y'all talking about ice when they living in a situation and it's ice cold. Y'all worried about ice coming but you're not worried about the elders freezing to death. See, y'all got it twisted. We got problems in our neighborhoods. Y'all want us to run out there and catch federal charges for ICE when the elders is living in the ice cold unit. The irony. Y'all more worried about ICE in town instead of your own people. Freezing, about to turn to ice. About to be a block of ice. That's the tragic incident. One of these elders gonna get found in one of these homes, froze to death. And then that's when y'all go, oh, I can't believe this. Where the protest at? Where the outrage? Where the concern at? Why our elders got to be on TV every time I look up screaming for help, but y'all about to go out there and help get federal charges for ICE, fighting against federal agents? You ain't even got to go to jail to help the elders. It ain't no risk in that, and you can make a great change trying to help them.
Listen, man, not for any amount of money in the world. You could take that $1 million and take it, donate it to somewhere special. I don't know. I don't want no parts of prison or no parts of jail.
Well, what else is going on, GP, out here in these pop culture streets?
So I had a question of the day. This is a story that I kind of scrambled upon, online, and so many oftentimes that we wonder again how far are people willing to go for money or what they would do for money.
Here we go.
And so this is a story that comes out of Nigeria. A Nigerian man identified as Ojo Igosa Kingsley. He was sentenced to a year in prison after opting for incarceration rather than paying a $1 million or 1 million USD error credit, which was sent to his account. So essentially, his bank wired him some money that was not due to him, and they obviously charged him with, I don't know what the charge necessarily would be, but, for someone else.
He spent the money.
Well, I damn sure did, because I don't know. I'm not asking no questions if $1 million popped up on my account.
Right.
But my question of the day for you was, would you rather spend a year in jail, or would you rather give the $1 million back?
Do I get to keep the $1 million after I spend a year in jail?
From what I've gathered, they did not garnish this money, or they did not, take any other legal action to kind of get it back. He's just serving time, and he will come home a millionaire in a year. That's what we're going to assume. 1 year in prison. In prison.
Am I gonna be in a place where Big Bubba, or am I gonna be able to?
It ain't.
Am I gonna be able to stay in my room?
It ain't country club.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be out there with general public and everything. I might get shanked.
Thugging.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, you thugging. It's a year.
Might come out in a dress like Blueface. I don't know.
Hey, listen. A lot of people turn in jail. My thought process, I'm gonna say hell no. Because I know we talked about the Boondocks a little earlier. One of my fondest memories as a child was seeing the episode with Fleece Johnson and them in jail. Right. And I could not imagine ever having to share a cell block or a prison with a man like that. He recently has obviously came home from jail, and you see kind of the stories and stuff like that he tells about jail all the time. If it's anything, if it's even a 10% of that, I want no parts of jail. They could keep that money. Nothing is worth my sanity, my peace, and my safety. I don't want to have to worry about picking up the wrong honey bun and dropping the soap in the shower and looking over.
Let me tell you something. I might try to stay in the hole. If you get into it, then they have to put you in the whole solitary confinement. Maybe you can kind of stay off to the side for the most part.
Stuff like that extends your sentence, though. You just gonna be in there longer.
But what I'm saying is, that's what I'm asking. It's just a year straight, or can they extend my sentence? With all of the extra that I may have to be battling off the, people trying to come down from the top bunk.
You might be on the top bunk.
No, you can't. You don't want to be in the top bunk. You don't want to be the top bunk, buddy. You don't want to be the one on the.
Might be in that commissary taking and all that. No, I don't know.
That's disrespectful.
When I think about this, I wonder again, how far is someone willing to go for money? Number one, my first thing is, why is there no kind of penance or kind of problem with the person that obviously made the clerical error? I'm not saying that anyone should just be granted $1 million at any random occurrence, but people don't realize how bad prison is for even a week or two. Like there's also another show on Netflix that I think just came out with a second season. I believe it's Prison Unlocked. Mm-hmm. And they basically have the cushiest of jobs, or not cushiest of jobs, but kind of conditions in jail. I think they don't have lockdown. I think they had free rec. They had a bunch of, all the
Oh,
other
I
stuff
saw
that-
where they changed the dynamics, and the warden was like, I'm going to give y'all the freedom in X, Y, and Z.
And they still was in jail fighting.
Wow.
So imagine if it's even an easier or a lighter sentence. Like, you still got to go through everything that people do in prison. We're not trying to make light of, obviously, the prison system in any manner, but they could have had every
I
red
just don't
cent
want
for
to
me.
be at lunch and somebody asks me, are you going to eat that cornbread?
They can have whatever they want off my
Eat that
plate.
cornbread.
They can have whatever they want off the plate. I'm not arguing with nobody. I don't want no
I don't
beef.
know.
Some people ain't built for it. Me personally, I like my house. I like having my fridge where I want my fridge to be. I like to light a candle here and there. I like to have the windows open. You can't do things like that. Those are simple pleasures that you can't have.
I would do a year in jail, but not prison.
Nah, none of it.
I would do jail.
Not the county, not the intake, not the bookings.
I wouldn't go off to prison.
I don't want no parts of it. I'm a big dude. I can handle myself. I don't want no parts of nothing that nobody got going on inside behind the
I
bars.
think it's harder to get got in jail.
Oh, no.
How do you know? And you ain't never went in.
I got homies that did some time. They'll tell me
in jail. I'm talking about regular city jail.
I had some homies.
County jail.
I had some homies that went to Rikers. And they call it
But
gladiator school.
the Rikers is bad. That ain't even a good place to be. Ain't Rikers a prison?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's one
talking
of
about the
most
local.
dangerous-
I'm talking about the jail. Like the prison and jail is different.
I mean, everybody got a homie that did a little bit of time for something petty, obviously, but even still, though, there's dudes that are I want to say lifers, but there's continual or repeat offenders, people that got some status and some stain in jail. And so if you don't follow the protocol, you might have a meeting with Bubba and Johnny and Joe.
Sincere Ronnie Ray Real says your time in prison will go by quicker.
He a lie. Lights out, and he get that tap on the shoulder.
one and only G Moore says he right, Tory. Minister Kevin says y'all watch too much TV. All right, they chiming in. We got some people that kind of got an insight.
It's some people with some
got
common
some
sense
insight.
in the comments. Yeah, I'm not. Listen, man, not for any amount of money in the world. You could take that $1 million and take it, donate it to somewhere special. I don't know. I don't want no parts of prison or no parts of jail. That's just
Well,
me.
thank you for that pop culture report, GP. A lot of people, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest right now. They have low comprehension skills. I got a gem to drop. And this is something that may help you as you move throughout the year. Stop arguing and fussing and fighting with people. And I'm starting to see that some people are driven by the toxicity or the drama, and they want you to be a part of that so nobody can tell which person was the aggressor. So they need you to participate so they can continue to maybe look like you may have did something to them. See, I learned now in my older age that it's more braver to walk away. It's easier to engage because you get impulsive, then you get high blood pressure. It's easy to engage. But the strongest person is the one that actually leaves and walks away. It's harder to leave and walk away because you want to engage. But I'm going to drop a gem. A lot of people, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest right now. They have low comprehension skills. They have low comprehension skills. Now, I don't know if it's from lead poison. I don't know if it's from, I don't know how did they get this way? But you have a lot of people that can't comprehend or have great problem-solving skills, and they'll get into a disagreement with you, but then they want to ball up their fist. They don't know how to, agree to disagree or say their point, and you say your point, and then, okay, that's fine, and keep it moving. No, they add this low vibration to it Now, if you don't agree with what I say, I'm not going to talk to you no more, or I may want to physically fight you. Have you ever been into a petty argument with somebody and they was like, I'll beat you up? Like, it went from, you like, what? Like, okay, so is it that serious? In their minds, in the low comprehension, low vibration world, that's where it goes. And I'm going to throw another reference, another example out there. Baddies Club. They got a whole show of girls fighting each other because they don't agree with each other. I'm going to go way back. I'm going to go to another example. Jerry Springer. He found a bunch of these low vibration people to come on the show and fight, And I'll tell you this. It's a lot of people that don't know how to resolve any issues or don't feel like they won the fight unless they're yelling or they punching on somebody. Like, y'all, don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into the trap. I've learned that the best thing to do is to not engage. Like, recognize that everybody doesn't have skills to discuss their viewpoint without getting angry to a level where they may even cause you physical harm. Some people, if you don't say nothing, they won't attack you. They can't recognize that. When you're silent, they don't know how to deal with that. Matter of fact, I added another layer on. I started telling people, God bless you. Then they look, it's hard to beat somebody up when they're nice or they're saying God bless you and they're not engaging. But once you engage into the fight, using fighting words, they'll bait you in it. They'll say something harsh to you, and then you'll say something harsh back. Now you opened up the floodgates for whatever's going to happen. And you don't think that this can escalate and ruin your day and have you in a situation where it's physical abuse, but it all starts with a verbal altercation. It all starts with a verbal, many times. It starts with a verbal altercation, and it escalates into lower vibrations of physical abuse. Notice before somebody try to do something to you, they try to talk to you first. They try to say something angry, like, I hate the way you do this and that. Then you be like, okay, well, I'll fix it. Like, if you say, okay, I'll fix it, it's hard to beat somebody up. Or like, if you don't engage, it's hard to punch somebody. Hey, I don't like you. Okay, well, that's fine.
I always told people you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?
Hey, well, then I'm going to just punch you in the stomach. I'm not going to hit you in the face. All right, so all I'm saying is understand the tricks of low vibrating, low comprehending impulsiveness, and you will have a better year this year. You will have a better year because you won't have to engage in a lot of drastic behavior, a lot of drama. That's it. That's all I got to say. It's going to take you a long way if you use it. That's the question of the day. Has integration helped our communities, or has it hurt the community? A lot of these young people, they're starting to ask questions, and I got to give them some answers. And so what they said was Martin Luther King was a leader that preached integration. He preached integration, at least from their standpoint, because he did also say he wanted to go get that check. He did also say that the farmers were being subsidized, American farmers were being subsidized and getting a leg up, and they was telling black farmers and to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and all of this stuff. So there was that side of Martin Luther King that we don't even see, that it's not marketed to us. Only side that's been marketed to us from Martin Luther King was the integration. Now, where the young people made a point, they said, how has integration helped the black community? because they don't see us owning nothing. They don't see a lot of things that we had when they read history, like Black Wall Street, where we had our own hospitals, we had our own baseball leagues, we had our own things like that. Now we seem to have less ownership in integration. And where I said was, this is what I said. I said, well, Wisconsin is one of the most segregated states in the United States. It's one of them. I think it's in the top 5. It's always somewhere in the top 5. Andrew, do your research to see if we. One year we was 2, then one year we was 4, and then 1 year we was at 1. So it's I'll say top 5. If y'all can go pull y'all phones out, get in the chat and tell me where Wisconsin ranks for segregation. But we got to understand this because we live in the state of Wisconsin. And when these young people come to ask these questions, I got to give them some straight answers. And when I looked at what they were saying, I kind of felt a certain way. But, okay, Andrew says now Wisconsin is number 1, the number 1 segregated state. Okay, now we believe in integration because we wanted to go into schools that didn't even want us in the school. We got the images of people going into the schools with the military and things like that. But what has that done for the black community? Integration. Milwaukee currently has one of the lowest test scores in the country because we wanted to integrate into the system, right? So that's one thing. All of a sudden, the businesses, the black-owned businesses, the mom-and-pop shops, the independent spirit is few and far between. I got on the show one time and said that I can't even get a bag of Cheetos from a black man. I'm talking about in my neighborhood. If I walk down to the corner store and I get me a Coca-Cola and a bag of chips, most likely it won't be a black man giving that to me, reaching over the counter, giving me that. That's integration. That's integration. We fought for integration, and now in a state that is number 1 in segregation, we the only one talking about integration, black people, to the point where we don't own a lot and we're giving our dollars as consumers to everybody else. That's, to me, where I see that integration ended up doing to the black community. Because everybody else, if you start crossing in over on the south side, they can go down the street and get items and goods and services from people that look like them. If you go into these other neighborhoods outside of the south side, if you go into Sherwood, they can go and get a bag of tater chips and a soda from somebody that looks like them, or whatever they want from people that look like them. Only people that's integrating and believe in integration is the African-American culture. And we can't even get the basic needs from each other. Think about it. Think about it. And this is sad. This is sad. I'll say this. I told them I understand what they saying. And that's why I get out here and I try to do it myself and try to work and build independently and without having to fall into the agendas that don't really truly get results for our community. Now, I'll say this because I looked at the statistics of this table I got of racial disparities in home ownership in the state of Wisconsin. And when you look at the population, this is off of 2020. This is from 2020, these numbers. Milwaukee has 577,222 people, according to whatever census they were using. They were talking about the median household income is $41,838. That was in 2019, something that they got from 2019. And the median house value back in 2019 was $122,000. $122,100. So here we go. Like, we are the majority here in the city, but when you start looking at the home ownership, we don't have a high homeowner percentage in the state of Wisconsin. So what I'm saying is, what advantages did we get from integration if we're living in the number one segregated state, which meaning everybody is doing their own thing? Integration meaning we want everybody to be involved. So I got a question of the day. Has integration helped our community or hurt the black community? That's the question of the day. Has integration helped our communities, or has it hurt the community? That's the question of the day. 833-212-1017. Talk to text 833-212-1017. Somebody call in and and try to straighten this out. Because we just celebrated MLK, and the integration was, Martin Luther King. When you hear the Martin Luther King speech, he wanted young black boys and young white boys and white girls to hold hands. And not to say that wasn't a good idea, but it's 2026. What have we seen from the integration ideas that have helped? Because when you look on the outskirts, they're segregated. Once you get outside the north side, it's pretty much segregated. Understand what I'm saying? Josh in the chat says, I guess we can't answer that question if Milwaukee never been integrated. We have a unique experience. What I'm saying is the integration is in our neighborhoods and with the business. It is integrated on our side. Everybody is in our neighborhoods. That's integration. You just can't go where they at. You just can't get a business in their community. You just can't start up nothing where they live. But everybody it's integration in our neighborhoods. That's what I'm saying. We see everybody. You can go down the street and see every culture. You can drive a couple blocks and you can see some of everybody. They just got the businesses going. Mo the Elephant says, that's the problem, though. The system has made it so that success for us is individual while communal for other communities. We got Sarah on the lines. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm good, Tory. How are you?
Blessings, Sarah. How has integration helped the community, or has it helped, or has it hurt the community?
I would definitely say it's definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Milwaukee County, in Wisconsin, probably in general, we need a bit more of it. I definitely learn more things when I decide to explore from my regular area. It's hard, if you're a South Sider, you stay in a certain, even in certain suburbs, in certain area. And you don't even know that there's all this other business and industry in other parts of the city. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting getting to know other things and seeing the similarities.
Now, Sarah, what part of the city do you live in?
I live in Greenfield.
Now, in Greenfield, is there a black store where you can go grab, anything? Like, I'm going to go down here to the store. It's a black owner. I want to buy any of his items. Is there a store like that?
I'm not sure. Like a small owned
No,
store
just any
or like
store,
corporate?
just anything, like a store in the neighborhood that's black owned.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I'm going to say no.
Okay, so, but is there, if you could go to a black community, is there a white store where you can grab items on the north side of Milwaukee? That's why I say, like, the integration in the black community is business, home ownership, land. Like, we go to other people to get things that if I was in Greenfield and I was white, I wouldn't have to go outside my race to do it.
Right. Definitely. That's true now that I'm thinking about it. Looking at house projects and stuff that I've been looking at, I'm going to say they probably all are. There are some Latino-owned places, not as much, but everything is a very white-owned in the suburbs. And I myself find myself wanting to not live in the suburbs because of those reasons. So depending on, I guess,
because
the person.
it's segregated.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely wish it was not as like it is right now.
So you want a more diverse background, where you can live and see multiple cultures.
Definitely, 100%.
Well, you'll definitely like the north side because there's a lot of that.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely seems a lot more, and even living on the south side for so long, or even like in Bayview and other Walker's Point. Walker's Point is a little more, eclectic, a little more going on, but there's so much more to see of Milwaukee and to learn about. And why are those streets called this? Because, you know what I mean? And it's hard. I don't think they did on purpose, but when the expressway was put in, it completely blocked a lot.
Right. And a lot of the expressways were driven through well-ran black communities as well. But that's a whole government idea that we talk about every now and then. But what I'm saying is, do you largely benefit from segregation or do you benefit largely from integration?
Definitely integration. I have learned of a lot more resources available to Milwaukee or to all citizens through integration. And when we're holed up just in our worlds, it is kind of you can only see what you already know. When you can't see the light from outside, you don't see that much because you have a skewed perspective, So I definitely recently, I feel I have been brought out to light again.
Okay. That's what's up. I appreciate you for tapping in, Sarah. Thank you for tapping in. Have a blessed day. I'll say this. I believe that we believe in integration to the point where we spend our money. They say our money leaves our pockets in the black community. It doesn't circulate in 6 hours or something like that? What is that? What is that? Aggregation of the dollars, aggregating dollars. Like, I think that as soon as we get the check, it's gone. It don't even rotate through the neighborhood before it leaves. And it was a whole thing where, 6 hours. They say that it doesn't even hit anything black owned. It's just as soon as you get it, it then flew out the window. So is that because of integration? I mean, at least the barbershop and the beauty shop may get some of the money. Maybe somebody that's doing fashion may grab some of the money. But as far as like goods and services and things like that, that's not strong enough to where we could circulate the dollars or get something from a car dealership that's black owned. Like, our monies are going faster out of the community than we can get it. That's what they saying. Who dollars circulate the longest? What community circulates the dollar the longest in the neighborhoods before it leaves the neighborhood? What community is that? Andrew looking that up.
Would you like to take a guess?
No, I'm just asking. I kind of know, but I don't want to say it because then people go, I'd rather for you to look it up and say it.
The Asian community, 28 days.
Okay, so Asian community is 28 days. It circulates 28 days, which means that they spend their dollars. LaRon Taylor, yeah, the Jews, he said the Jews, but
19 days.
The Jews' dollars circulate 19 days. Asian is 28 days. Who else?
That is the big one. It's Asian community number 1, Jewish community number 2, distantly in last place.
Okay. We had 6 hours. And the Asians' dollars circulate 28 days, which creates wealth, which starts to create the wealth, and then they get our dollars on top of that to add to that. So not only is their money circulating, our money is circulating over there too. Like it's wild because if it's leaving our community in 6 hours, it's got to be adding to their wealth base. Josh in the chat says, yeah, Asians keep their money in home. That makes sense. So we not practicing economics correctly. That's all I'm saying. And in order to build stability and generational wealth, you got to circulate your dollars within your community so many days so you can take advantage of the economics that's happening. That's a part of understanding economics. So, hey, if that's not happening, here we go. How you going to create generational wealth? They thinking they're going to hit the lottery. They say African-American dollars adds to everybody's wealth base. So is that integration? Because before integration, we were circulating the dollars pretty well in black communities. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So is integration hurting our community or is it helping? 833-212-1017. 77 Ken Rue says, to me, King did more harm than good here in the South. Well, I'll say this. To some, King was powerful. But integration kind of was the question. And I think Harry Belafonte was a close friend of Martin Luther King. And he said that King said that he thought he walked his people into a burning house. And the burning house that Belafonte was trying to say that was the burning house was the economics, where the money was going into a burning house because we were going to burn our resources to help other resources. So that to me made more sense when I heard that Belafonte said that Martin Luther King made a statement that he probably walked his people into a burning house. That could have been meant financially. For you to be sinister, to take a sinister approach to getting intimate, that's wild. Especially when you got the fame and fortune. It was a story that just broke today during the Pop Culture Report that I do want to bring back up. This is TMZ. Bill Cosby, in a recent lawsuit filed by one of his victims, Donna Motsinger, what they're saying is a testimony or under oath. Bill Cosby admitted this under oath that he refilled a recreational prescription for Quaaludes that he got from a gynecologist at a poker game 7 times with the intention of giving the pills to women in hopes of having sex with them. This is in a lawsuit, which I think it's a civil lawsuit by one of the victims. And I wonder, why would he, I said this during the Pop Culture Report, because now this is starting to make its rounds on the internet. Why would Bill Cosby use pills? Like he was I remember, and I don't want to sound repetitive, but he was on top of the world at one point. I mean, you telling me Bill Cosby don't got charm? He was in movies. He was a Hollywood star. Like, why would you want women to be unconscious? This is just wild to me.
Because he was a sick individual.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to explain it, in so many words. And I'm sure that this was what was going on. I'm sure this gynecologist, Bill Cosby, wasn't the only one that he was getting false subscriptions to. He said he was doing this. He met this guy at the poker game. So there's other people in the room that he's probably doing this to. They're saying that, and they named the guy. They named the guy right here. They said that Dr. Amar is a disgraced gynecologist who was Bill Cosby's friend. Dr. Amar. That's wild. Like, and you know, there's other people in Hollywood that was doing this too. And to forward it, I think somebody brought up a point that every generation have their drug of choice. 7435 says, although it's not okay, Quaaludes were a hip party drug in the 60s and 70s. Let's take some ludes. It's no different than this generation's party drug, popping mollies. Imagine what your grandkids' generation will say about you. I never took drugs, you know. I never was the drug person. I mean, I believe that you got to have, you know, some charm, some wit, and be able to talk to people and understand how they feel. And then you can, if you get into that space where you do get intimate, it is what it is. If you don't, it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, for you to be sinister, to take a sinister approach to getting intimate, that's wild. Especially when you got the fame and fortune. Andrew, what you want to say about this?
Well, I was going to say, it's a difference between like using a party drug to party and using a party drug to like date rape people, Tory. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. Like, they're like, well, you know, everybody has their drug of choice. Not to commit assault.
Well, I think there was something called the Spanish Fly or something like that.
Yeah, he used that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Darren Sharper from the Packers is in jail for date rape. You know what I mean? People slipping things into the drinks. They said that at a lot of these Hollywood parties, they would know which bottles not to drink from because these were the bottles that had the little splow in there. And so the girls would come want to get in VIP, and so they would have them drink those bottles.
You almost want to charge like this disgraced doctor with a similar charge that you're just like charging Cosby with.
Because if they know he was prescribing pills to people, to Bill Cosby in particular, why isn't he under arrest?
Well, and then you think too, like, okay, giving somebody a party drug versus like you're at a poker game. I guarantee you, Bill Cosby's telling him some of these stories of what he's doing. So you're giving him drugs to do what, you know?
And I when I was coming up, it was a saying that don't leave your drink sitting around.
Yeah.
Like, always keep your drink next to you. And every time people go out and they want to go to these parties, and then they have to watch their drink, especially the women, especially if you out having a good time, people trying to, you know, put that little splow in the drink, and next thing you know, they got you, you know, in the back seat of the car. They got you driving to somewhere where you're not even conscious of even being. But this is not just a thing, a Bill Cosby thing. I think that he's now in court with it. But I've heard that this was just how Hollywood was getting down. I mean, Bill Cosby had access to the Playboy Mansion and all of that. So why are you doing this? You know, I don't know. I guess the culture. I guess we really don't know what the culture is. Because every time I hear about these women and these victims, it's horrible what they were doing. If you want to join the conversation, 833-212-1017, are you afraid to go out and are you in fear of somebody dropping something in your drink? I remember I was watching the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, and he was putting stuff in people's drinks so they could be, you know, lax so we can kind of take advantage of them.
I was talking to teammates, Tory, at our office, and they were talking about things happening in different bars and stuff.
This is something that could be going on. I don't think it ever stopped. And you got to be careful when you're out partying, especially in a room full of people and you not paying attention.
So for the pop culture today, we got an apology from a legend. And so this is an apology that I think was years, if not, decades in the making. But Kanye West kind of broke his silence today. And he had an interview or kind of sat down with the New York Times, and he basically made an apology out to the black community and to the foundation of who I am. He says he is sorry to have let down, obviously, some of his fellow brothers and sisters. And so it's a very, very long letter, but I'll kind of paraphrase it. But basically, he kind of alludes back to the fact of many people know that he had a car crash or a traumatic car crash, in California years and years ago where it left him with a broken jaw, and obviously he had to go through all the traumatic brain injuries and all the other stuff like that he had kind of going on. But he basically said that he had some doctors or kind of some doctors from Cambridge kind of study or do a scan on his brain, which alluded to the fact of some of the bipolar, schizophrenic stuff that he kind of had going on. So he's basically asking for forgiveness. He's alluding to the fact that is why he had to go through what he was going through, and then he felt a state of power and kind of illusion. He wasn't really truly being his best self, in the last couple of years, obviously, with all the antics and all the other stuff that we saw, come from Kanye. So do you believe that
is it under control?
No, it'll never be. That's the thing. He will never be the same. Am I right or am I wrong?
So how can you apologize if it's never going to be corrected?
I think it comes in waves. I think
you just got to feel empathy for him, but he can lash out at any time.
Well, that's the thing. When it comes to mental health, we don't really have a complete grasp on why the brain does what it does or how.
So now anybody can have this excuse. Look, baby, look. I got something wrong with me, and I'm sorry, but tomorrow I might go off on you, but have some empathy, have some room, some space in your heart to forgive me for whatever I do in the future.
I would hope that people don't use it as a crutch. I think when it comes to Kanye West, I think that obviously as someone who has watched the Genius documentary, I don't know if you did have the chance to see it. I truly think that, again, that car crash did kind of change the trajectory of his career because he was only known as being a producer for Jay-Z, Scarface, and all those other guys on the label.
And I heard he don't get paid for Through the Wire.
Right.
He don't make 1 cent from that song.
Yeah, and you can see it as well. He was linking up with all these big artists and playing them numerous beats. He linked up with Ludacris. He linked up with Pharrell. And so once that car crash kind of happened, he became a star in his own right because people essentially became to care about the artist and kind of the style and the swag.
I mean, he had a great delivery.
Yes.
The Graduation was a classic.
Yeah. Late Registration. There's a lot of great albums.
That was a classic. What I'm saying is Kanye West, he went off into this direction when he got with the Kardashians. After he got on that level, then he was trying to get in with the higher $1 billion class. Mm-hmm. And, on that road, he made a lot of enemies and he made a lot of people dislike him. Then he became a billionaire. Decided to lash out against the billionaires, lost the money, had to go independent, gain the money, so Sway was right. Then he lashed out on the Jewish community, you know what I mean? Had to, come and kiss the ring.
Yeah.
Because now he got to apologize to them. And so it's just a lot of roller coaster with Kanye West.
I just think.
Then he got a wife, walked her around naked.
They're still doing that.
He got a new wife?
No, it's the same one, Bianca Censori.
She
or whatever
back?
Her name.
They back together?
She brought them naked somewhere the other day. I don't know where.
I thought that they broke up or they got a divorce.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're split or if they're still kind of working things out.
I don't know.
At this point, we don't know who is really rocking with Kanye and who isn't. But I think even taking things a little back further, I think when we talk about that documentary and kind of how it painted his rise to stardom and all the other things that he had going on personally, I think the loss of his mother was very traumatic.
Oh, he is not divorced. Yes. They saying Andrew just looked it up. He's not divorced.
They're just separated, I guess, to some aspects.
Because her family was giving her backlash. You know what? Like, I'm seeing I'm a father and I raised my daughter. I don't want to see her naked on the Grammys, like on the red carpet. You know what I mean? So I believe she got under severe scrutiny from her own family members. Like, what are you doing?
But that's the thing. The people are willing to go that far for the price of fame. But I think with respect to all that Kanye has been through in his life, whether it's the marriage to Kim Kardashian, the loss of his mother unexpectedly due to her, her unfortunate surgery, and also the car crash and all the other stuff that Kanye has kind of been in, he's never really been in his right mind, at least not since the early 2000s.
There's a lot of people I know that ain't in their right minds.
Are they seeking help? Are they actually
we don't know.
Using all the resources that they have?
Is Kanye seeking help? We don't know. Like, all I'm saying is I understand he has to apologize because he got a project dropping.
Oh man, you think it's promo?
Hey, come on now, this is all promo. and so he got a project dropping, and he needs everybody to love him.
Maybe I'm too soft on people. I don't know.
I mean, I can see where Kanye West has mastered how to keep his name in people's mouths. He's gotten really good at that. 50 Cent has gotten really good at that.
Yep.
Nicki, Minaj, she'll rant on social media. He'll rant on social media. They all know how to keep relevant in today's times. But he have burned so many bridges in the process, but yet we still love Kanye West. We still support his Yeezys. We go to Yeezy.com to get his slippers and all of that. He had a fight against Adidas.
Well, that's because they selling them for $20 now.
He kept his brand. So I think that we kind of rode this out with Kanye West. We riding it out.
I just think we have a great love and kind of admiration for Kanye because of the pain that he puts into his music. For example, the last album that he might have or did drop, Vultures 2 or Vultures 1 and 2, we got to see this entire crazy rollout where he was living in the stadium and they had the house or his childhood house kind of set up in the middle of the stadium and they had the Larry Hoover tribute. We get to see his pain really come out in his music. And so people are hoping that he can kind of still tap into that dark side or kind of that beautiful side that he had going on in the early 2010s. And so people always want to see the circus. No matter how bad and no matter how good it's going, people always want to be surrounded by it. And so with Bully, obviously respect to his new album that might be coming out, people still want to see. There was the Black Klansman thing last year. There was, the rally that he had when he was going to announce his thing for presidency. There's so many, I don't want to say core moments.
Yeah, Marlon Manson with him at one point.
But there's so many moments tied to Kanye that he is prime television. He entertainment television lives to see Kanye.
Outside of the Kardashians, why he never had a reality show?
He would have been cursing the producers out all day long. They wouldn't have got no footage. I don't know. Wow. I'm praying for him. Anybody that is or knows somebody. And
I'm going to listen to Kanye West's album because he is a great beat maker.
Yeah.
He has great concepts, but I think that he burned so many bridges with so many different fan bases because he was in the gospel. Then he went back to pimping, I guess. I don't know what. He just crossed so many lanes, and we all rock with him through it all.
I just think he is the bridge. I think no matter what Kanye does, no matter how bad or how untasteful it is, we will always tune in to see if he falls on his face or if he can still soar to kind of relevancy. And so, again, anyone that is really dealing with some mental health issues, I hope that you have people around you that care about you and that you seek out all the resources that you can. Or I guess you could just roll out an album like Kanye is in a couple of weeks.
I like the George Bush don't give a damn about black people Kanye.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many. We could probably have a top 100 moments of Kanye.
Is that romance fraud? Could that be considered romance fraud? Or do you have to meet that person online? And it's something that I didn't know that it was a type of fraud that I was like, can you really get sued for this? Or can you really go to jail for this? So I sent it over to Andrew, and I said, Andrew, have you ever heard of this? It's called romance fraud. Romance fraud. Understand what I'm saying, Truth Nation? Romance fraud. This is something that I want to take a short dive into, and I want to ask, have you ever experienced romance fraud? I think we got some, Andrew did some research, and we got some audio and video on this. If you're watching this rebroadcast live, let's listen.
He said he loved me, and then he took all of my money. I was on Facebook, and I never, ever accept friend requests from people I don't know. But there was something about this man, Tony, that was what he told me his name was. He told me he was a surgeon and was working in Iraq. He was widowed and had 2 children. My husband had been gone for 14 years when this started, and I was not looking for any kind of romance. At first, it was just so amazing to have a conversation with a man like that again. And he would say the most romantic things. He asked me to download an app so that we could talk on the phone, and he called 5 or 6 times a day. His children started to message me. They wanted to call me Mom. I've never had children, so I waited all my life to hear somebody call me mom. It was wonderful to have that feeling like I was loved. It's so good to hear your voice. Because we talk so many times a day, every day, I thought I knew him fairly well, which made me trust him. By the time he asked for money, I did what he asked, and that was just the beginning of many requests for gift cards. Tony needed money for a better signal to be able to call me, or he needed money to be able to buy better food, etc., etc. And when I pushed about it and said, I'm now having trouble paying my own bills, he told me, I'm going to pay you back the minute I get there. He wanted to come here to visit with me. The day he was to come, he was going to call me when he got off the plane, but of course he never got here.
Wow.
And that's what made it unravel for me. That in itself blew the cover that it was a scam.
Wow.
In total, I had sent him $39,000.
$39,000?
Losing the money was devastating, but getting over losing that romance, that new life that I thought I was going to have.
All right, Andrew, hey, we got the point. Okay, so romance fraud.
You didn't want to hear? He's like, I lost my money and the love of my life.
Well, she lost the love of her life, but it was all in her head.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so romance fraud. Let me talk about this. It involves criminals creating fake online identities and gaining victims' trust and affection. That's the important. They want your affection too. Trust and affection, like they had her romanticizing about a future. You know what I mean? She probably had the rose out or something. I don't know what was going on because she never met this person. So she was had a lot of affection for him, ultimately manipulating them into sending money, cryptocurrency, or personal information, often operating via dating apps or social media. Scammers. Frequently, you know, they're scamming people. And let me tell you something. Some of y'all probably getting scammed right now or in a relationship right now where y'all met somebody online and you in love because y'all been talking. They didn't what? What they say? They getting your trust. You're gaining your affection. And now you ain't added it up, but she said she looked up and she was out of what, $36,000? $36,000? This reminded me of something. This reminds me of something. We call, when it get wintertime, we call it boo season. Everybody get booed up. Everybody want to, especially when it's cold, like what happened over the weekend. You want to be in the house with a hot cup of coffee with your boo, booed up for some. But this is where I see the problem. When tax season come around November, not November, but April, that's when, they get that last Valentine's Day and then they go into April and then they break up before the summertime. So we call it the tax season scam. Like everybody get around people. Then when tax season come, when they get the money, they spend the money. Then Valentine's Day and all of that. And shortly after that, when the taxes is here, they take the money and they leave. Is that romance fraud? Could that be considered romance fraud? Or do you have to meet that person online? So in order for it to be romance fraud, the person has to be something presented online, and many people live an illusion online. Everybody rich, everybody got it going on online. Well, at least on Instagram. I done seen people beg for money on Facebook. If you want to beg for money, go to Facebook. There's a lot of beggars on Facebook. They be putting their Cash App up. They be trying to ask for money on Facebook, but not on Instagram, though. Instagram is where the sun is always shining on Instagram. So what I'm saying is, have you ever been involved in a romance fraud? Like, have you ever been scammed from a relationship? Like, you thought this person loved you. All of a sudden, y'all got close, kind of swept you off your feet mentally. Kind of told you, hey, look, I can't live without you. And next thing you know, shortly after that, something happened, and I need a few dollars.
They call that love bombing, Tory, when you just tell somebody, I love you really early in a relationship.
Love bombing? Okay, love bombing is what?
So when you just show somebody a lot of affection right off the jump.
Maybe they just want you, though. I mean, is that love bombing or, when you love bomb somebody, is that a form of trickery?
Manipulation.
So now you can't show a lot of affection because they're going to equate it to love bombing.
It's the tough world we live out here, Tory.
That's wild. Okay, all right. Love bombing.
Well, I'll tell you, for like me, right? I make sure I don't text somebody too soon because then I'm worried that they think I'm more interested than I actually am. You got to play it cool, right?
Okay, listen. I don't care how much in love don't cost a thing. Jennifer Lopez tried to tell you that love don't cost a thing. But I'm seeing that people charging for love now. Is that scam? Is love, well, I would say it's prostitution, but a lot of people say, okay, we're together, fly me out, we together, let me flip some, let me hold that money that's coming in, I got a plan, I want to flip it. Is that a romance fraud? Is this romance fraud? Because I didn't know it was nothing called romance fraud out here. It's all different types of fraud, but romance fraud meaning that you gotta be showing affection to this person, and they're using that to gain access to the cash. So how many people out here right now listening to the show have been in a relationship that they were in love and they got played out of a bunch of cash? 833-212-1017. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody used your trust and affection to drain your bank account? 833-212-1017. I want to know, because I see a lot of people nowadays, they'll get in relationships because the person has dollars, or they'll get in a relationship because the person has means. And once they dry the means up, they move on to the next person with means. Would that be considered romance fraud? I think you brought it home. You had a point earlier when we was discussing this, Andrew. You said if you met somebody at a social event, that's not romance fraud.
Right. That's just fraud.
It's just, I just frauded you.
If I go to a bar and I say, hey, I'm Brad Pitt's brother, then I'm lying to women and I'm a fraudster, right? If I do that online, it's romance fraud.
So I gotta meet you on a dating app.
Right.
Or off Facebook or off Instagram, or I slid in the DM. You looking on my page, it's looking like I got it going on. I got a Gucci belt. You know what I mean? I got some Jordans on, you know what I mean? I got some gold teeth. I pulled up in the whip. I pulled up with a Mercedes Benz. Now I'm asking you for money. How do you got all of these things? You asking me for money? That's what I'm saying. The lady said that this guy was posing as like a professional doctor or something. Why is he asking her for money? That don't make no sense. We gonna get to the bottom of it. If you want to join the conversation, 833-212-1017. Romance fraud. Have you ever been in some relationship where they tried to clean you out? They took you to the dryers. We got a call on the line. Want to remain anonymous. How you doing, caller?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Tory?
Blessings. Romance fraud is going on. What's going on? Have you ever been in this situation?
No, but I know someone. My mother has been in the romance fraud.
Where she gave up thousands of dollars.
She's an elderly woman,
Okay.
65, and yeah, she gave up a lot of money. Went to the point she couldn't pay her bills.
What?
Almost homeless. And she nearly went to go change her last name. Said, "Oh, I'm married now."
What?
No, what? Why would you do something like that, lady?
Hold on, wait a minute. As a family
It's
member,
real.
what happened? What did she ever get to meet the person?
Never met the person, and to this day she still talks to the person.
What?
On her Instagram, social, whatever. Yes, it's real.
And how did she meet the person? Was it on Facebook? Was it on Instagram?
On Instagram.
So mom's got on Instagram, met this person.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that person's profile?
Yeah and no. I mean, they use different pictures.
Right.
That's what they do. They take these pictures that she follow all the time and use different pictures, calling her on WhatsApp and all these different apps, Text Now.
Oh, wow.
She literally cusses us out like, why are you doing this? I know what I'm doing. Like,
what?
You getting scammed.
So hold on.
Yeah,
How
for
much?
all her online banking and everything.
He got the banking information?
Yes.
Wow.
It went that far. Yep.
Wow.
So it's real. It's real.
So what was she giving him money for?
For trips. He need to pay a bill. She talked to his kids. I mean, it's crazy.
Have anybody tried to report? Maybe somebody need to report this person. Because he probably got multiple women.
I need to report that guy.
Yeah, if you go report for fraud, because he's taking advantage of your mom, and he probably got 5 or 6 or 7 more women doing the same thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But she won't let me get to her phone. That's the thing. I can't get to her phone. My mom has 3 phones to contact this person.
Wow.
Imaginary person. We call him an imaginary man. Like, you done married an imaginary person?
How long has she been with him, or in this situation?
I'll say about since the pandemic.
Wow.
She got divorced at her first wedding. Her first marriage. She got divorced, and loneliness.
She in love.
But it's going too far.
She sounds like she in love with this guy.
Yeah. I had to save her apartment. Now I'm monitoring her bills. It's crazy.
Wow.
I'm like, you older than me, mother. Like, it's not that serious. I mean,
maybe I need to come over and investigate.
Yeah, on all 3 phones, because she won't let us touch it. It's 3 daughters. She will not let us touch her phone at all. Don't look through it. Don't do nothing.
So she feel like she's romantically involved with this person to where she was going to change her last name?
Yeah, she done traveled to go meet this person to different states.
Wait a minute.
And never met up with the person.
What? Hold on. She left.
She had to call us to get her back home a few times. Like, what in the hell are you doing? Leaving town without letting your kids know.
Wow. And he never met up with her.
Never.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So it's a real deal.
Well,
it's bad.
It is bad. And you know what? You may have to get the police to at least contact the police and see if they can investigate and come in and do it, because sometimes that could be elder abuse. How old is your mom?
65.
65. She may be in a space where they can just are you the power of attorney? Anybody have any guardianship?
No, she said her husband is power of attorney.
Okay.
We've been trying to do that.
Where's the husband at?
She never met his husband, but she changed her name at the courthouse.
Wait a minute. So she married to him now?
Yes. She
No
has
way.
his man's last name.
No way.
Yes. Yes.
Without a marriage certificate.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't think this was gonna get that hot today. It was cold outside. I didn't think it was gonna heat. The lines was gonna heat up this hot. Wow.
Yeah, I heard you on the radio. Like, my mom is going through this right now, and it just breaks my heart. Like, you know the game. You should know that this is fake. This Instagram, social media stuff is fake.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you this: if you can maybe get an investigator to kind of help out, because I believe that you can. I believe they'll actually like try to, because it's an elder. Maybe they can get in there and do something about it.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Hey, thank you for calling in. I appreciate. I didn't know that you can actually go to jail for it though. It was a guy that was it was an influencer. What made me see this story was there was a influencer out of Ghana. And she would come on with the Louis Vuitton and the Gucci bags and the Chanel purses, and guys would inbox her, and then she would ask them for money, or she would say, she would always look for older men that had money, and then she would kind of like allude to them getting into some type of relationship, and then she would ask them for money. And one guy gave her like $90,000 before he realized he was being scammed. You know what I mean? And she was posing on Instagram like she was living this lavish life, but really the FBI was investigating her because of what she was doing.
So I have the story up here, Tory. Over $100 million in theft.
What?
The Ghana woman, over $100 million in theft.
The Ghana woman, she had over $100 million. I done got involved in the wrong thing. I'm just joking. I'm just joking, but I mean, it just
with AI. I mean,
was it AI, or was she just posing or trying to lure them in romantically?
She was posing, but I'm saying for Tory Lowe in a different life, AI would be a gift from God on this scamming stuff.
Kawanda says, "I'm so glad you said that, Tory 100. I definitely hate to tell the truth. So I think I'm being scammed by some cheaters and callers. I'm just saying." Oh, she thinks she's being scammed. Well, all right. Well, this is what I'm saying. When you talking to people and then next thing you know, y'all get close. All of a sudden, it's an emergency. Like, I'm gonna say this because I didn't know it was romance fraud, but it was a woman a little while back. Like, she kept calling me and we was cool. But then she kept trying to say like she was in tragic incidents and she needed some money. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I deal with people here in the city because I'll go by their house. It'll be a tragic incident. I'm able to see it. I'm able to touch it. I'm able to feel the incident. I'm able to kind of organize for them. But if you live a long distance and you call me and you say you got a situation and I don't get to go over there and see what's going on, I'm not raising no money. I'm not getting involved in that. I don't get involved in that. Because I know that people scam. There's a such thing as a scam community, and there's a saying, the beggar always get what they want. You know, the beggars, the people that get out here, you see them outside of Walmart, you see them out there begging. Well, I wonder how much they had did a survey on how much the people that beg make, and sometimes they make more than people that's working a job, beggars. So I don't know, like I said, but I also see that on social media that it was a catfishing idea where men were getting catfished, and some women, some occasions women was getting catfished because they looked up there and saw the six-pack. The tall, dark, and handsome, or somebody that they felt was successful, and they wanted that kind of person. That's why I say, how do you let them ask you for money after that?
The way that they do it, Tori, is they'll go like, hey, I can't get to my bank account right now. I need $10,000. I'm in Mexico City. Can you send me money?
Okay. Okay, you didn't plan the trip. I wasn't a part of planning the trip.
Yeah, exactly.
You talking about you going to Mexico? That's your problem.
Speak on it.
That's what I'll tell you. That ain't my problem. That's your problem.
So your internet girlfriend gets trapped somewhere. You're like, good luck.
Well, it depends. Have I seen her?
No.
No. Good luck. Go to the next person. Go to the next guy that you got in the DM. It's like, I ain't the one. Why would I give you money for something you planned without me?
You're speaking on truth.
I'm not. I don't got nothing to do with that. That's your problem. Now, if we were supposed to do something together and you know, I'm involved in the planning, yeah, I might be like, okay, let me help you work this out. But if you call me straight out the blue with something that you did, that you was doing, you should have been better prepared for that.
I can't disagree with you.
I'm just saying.
But see, this is a different story. You're talking about common sense, and a lot of people are missing that.
Okay, well, common sense is if I never seen you before, you're not getting over $20. You not. That's the limit. Like if I've never seen you and all we doing is talking, I might give you $20. You know, $40, something like that. Just you know, in that space. Anything over that, you got to take a hike. Because you shouldn't be asking people, first of all, it's a blessing that I even decide to give you the money in the first place. You ain't privileged to the cash, first of all. And I ain't never seen you. So you could be scamming, but I can lose a 20. You know what I mean? I mean, I done threw away a 20 here and there before. But I'm not doing no more than that, no.
I'm going to be honest with you, Tory. I don't think they could get $20 from me.
You never given a stranger any money?
I think $5 at the most.
I got a question. Have you ever been told that somebody was too good for you? Or you were too good for them and you still stayed in the relationship? And you know, you don't have to give us a lot of detail because sometimes it be your own family that had told you, told you things that, now y'all scarred and got trauma from. I want to know, have you ever been told or have you ever thought you was too good to be dating somebody? Some of y'all get in these relationships and then at the end when y'all break up, y'all feel like y'all was too good for them. But at the time that y'all gave them a shot, you was all hot and bothered. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to, many times when you talk about people who they dating, who is somebody to tell somebody who to love, first of all, that's the one thing. Sometimes people got the audacity to try to tell somebody who they should be with or not. But I do feel it's a time and place where wisdom can kick in, Let's say somebody's being treated bad, but then they want to get married to that person. You'd be like, okay, well, we got some examples here that this may not work because of this, X, Y, and Z. Now, if you got some history and you come into them with, some real talk, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just, I don't know if it's, ego? Arrogance? Oh, I'm too good. Or this person looks at you and say, I'm too good for you. I gave you a shot. I really don't like when they say, well, I really didn't like them at first. Boo. They grew on me, yeah. You know what? I was bored and they grew on me, so I just figured, hey.
Like mold on bread.
Let's get together because I was bored. Like, have you ever been told you're too good for your partner or if they were too good for you? Like, or somebody you was talking to and you was dating? I want to know. 833-212-1017. Now, we got something going viral right now, and this is the reason I'm asking the question, because I'll be sure. I don't even know if we can play one of I'll Be Sure songs without getting struck. We can't. We can't play it. Okay. Can we get like 30 seconds? Don't they strike you after you play it longer than 30 seconds? So play the fat part. Play the chorus part, Andrew. You know who I'll Be Sure is, Andrew?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what I'm saying is, give me one of his records, and then give me some of Linnell's comedy, if the ones that's radio edited, because she's extremely vulgar. But what I'm saying is, I'm seeing comments that, people kind of like saying that they, that's an odd couple. They shouldn't, that don't look right. That is, it's got to be a joke. But that makes me realize what people idealisms of being together with somebody truly is. Like somebody may be out of your league. 833-212-1017. Talk to text 833-212-1017. There, this I'll be sure. Yeah, he was the it guy. I remember this song. Now he's singing this to Linnell.
He had a nice unibrow.
And this is where I say sometimes you do need to have people around you to give it to you straight, And I don't think looks should play a part in, like, let's say you like somebody and somebody may say, oh, that person's too ugly for you. Like, I don't believe in that, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But then you got people who want that trophy, and they need that person to look good because they want a trophy situation. Then you got a girl that's a model. She wants somebody to be in a more financial situation. Understand what I'm saying? So people date however they want to date, however you want to mix and match it. I don't think it's a right way to date. I just think that abuse is wrong. You got to say no to abuse in any form. Like, it's not one way to date. Everybody nowadays, especially after 101 Genders came out, I lost track. There's so many combinations of relationships now, I don't even say nothing no more. All I say is don't fall for abuse. Don't get abused. Like, if you happy, I can't say nothing. And a lot of people think that they can come in and try to tell people what to do. The moment you push back on people's relationship, the more they're going to stay together. It actually keeps people together. Telling somebody you shouldn't be with somebody. You shouldn't. You know what I found out? You got to give them good advice. Like, kind of bring out some of the things you're seeing. Instead of telling somebody what not to do, just present some of the things that you're seeing. And maybe they don't see it. But once you bring it to their attention, they're going to start seeing what you see, and then they're going to come to the conclusion on their own. But if you tell somebody not to be with somebody, automatically, it seems to me they'll get in defense mode, and now they finna go hard, especially if it's your child, especially if it's somebody that you're a parent, and you tell them, hey, don't talk to that girl. Next thing you know, that's the very one that they talking to. Matter of fact, if you're in a relationship and you trying to keep your partner away from somebody, when y'all break up, that's the person they gonna be with. Stop it. I'm trying to tell you, psychologically, all you have to do is present what you're seeing without trying to tell them what to do. Give them the material or the ideas that you think that they should be paying attention to, and then eventually they'll see that, and you'll ultimately get the outcome, because now that you woke them up to things that they should be paying attention to, it'll do the rest on its own. Because sometimes love is blind. Sometimes when you with somebody, you don't care. But when my grandma said, you love they dirty drawers. I'm like, what? Bruh. Grandma used to say that. I mean, you in love, you smelling your drawers, you in love with them. I'd be like, your nose, they got your nose. They done got your nose. I never knew what grandma, that's that old Mississippi. That's that old Mississippi talk they used to talk on the plantation over there when they used to share crop. That's what my grandma and my grandfather used to pick cotton. So when they came up from Mississippi to Milwaukee, they had, their own little sayings. But I want to know, have you ever been told that you were too good for somebody and why? Or somebody thought that they was too good for you? That's crazy. Because many times, ego is involved in that. Josh in the chat says, we need to change standards on what we think is dateable. A lot of people looking for a partner, and they need to go talk to the lady in the chair and seek within and heal that inner child. Kathy in the chat says, my stepdad was from Missouri, and he used to say that too, about the dirty draws. Yeah, that was their language. But at the end of the day, I think that many times you can't help who you get attracted to, but you can help how they treat you. Because sometimes love, I think many times people think love comes with, I got to absorb a lot of abuse. And really, we got it vice versa, because love is actually supposed to be a help. It's supposed to actually be helpful to you. Like, when you start falling in love, you're supposed to be able to get help from that love. Well, we have, for some reason, we have associated love with abuse. Like, now this person can yell at me. I never liked when people were in relationships and people slapped somebody. Like, because we go together and you see these social media videos where they think that they can put their hands on the person. Smacking them, smack, and laughing about it. To me, that's abuse. I don't like abuse. I don't do well with abuse. Like, I say no to abuse in any form. But I think that now people associate being treated negatively as if that person, oh, they love me because they're treating me like crap. I don't know how that works. Andrew, somebody help me out. When did that start happening?
It's backwards, Tory.
It is backwards. I mean, how come people, they say, oh, we go together, but they argue? It's like they're in a race to prove, they got together to prove to each other that they don't need each other.
I hate that they argue like a married couple. Like, why are married couples fighting like that?
That's what I'm saying. Ain't marriage supposed to be a good thing?
Bliss.
When did it flip? Because now, when you ask a lot of young people, a lot of young men about marriage, they're not trying to get married. You trying to get married, Andrew?
Of course, Tory.
What are you looking for in a marriage?
I'm looking for peace. I think finding peace.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You see how hectic my life is. You know what goes on behind the scenes around here. I need somebody to come home to and just be like, I'm not trying to bring drama. I'm not trying to bring stress. You know, that type of stuff.
I got you. But sometimes it seems like when people associate love with this nagging type attitude, or the guy wants to control, you got to be submissive now. Like, this is where you get the high divorce rate. Because men will come into the attitude where I got you now, you mine. We done signed the papers. And a woman will get into the space where, okay, well, I'm going to shut down, because I'm in a marriage, but I'm going to shut down. I'm going to take the intimacy out of it. And so they're making each other suffer without really correctly knowing how to actually make the marriage work. But 833-212-1017, have you ever been said that you were too good for somebody, or have anybody ever told you that you weren't good enough?